Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is more Bad Business gameplay, and in this video we are going to be doing a King of the Hill on the map Chernobyl. And it's going to start off with the UMP as I was revisiting it, and then I realised that my team were kind of standing on the objective at first, but I was having to do a lot of the work. And when I need a gun to work in this game and to put in the work that is needed of me, I generally go to the AUG. It is an exceptional submachine gun, and I'm going to be putting it on and trying my best to push these enemies off this hill. But this commentary is not going to be about the gameplay, as that guy gets a 3-man headshot feed, which is not suspicious. But the conversation here, guys, is going to be about the leveling up system, the progression system of how you acquire experience, and the experience system on the guns. I want to talk about it, I want to share my thoughts on it, and I want to see what you guys think about it too. So I've just currently moved into 3rd Prestige on Bad Business. I'm about midway through Prestige, and I'm getting an idea of what it's all about. You know, I've been leveling for a while, I've seen how long it can take to go from, 50 to 60, and how the first 30 levels really feel great and feel like they go through quite fluidly, and then it slows down considerably, and then you repeat the process again with the prestiging, as you have done since the birthing of that system in Call of Duty 4. And comparably, the gun is similar too. Every kill and assist that you get with your gun will lead to experience acquired, will lead to unlocking attachments, and will progress to... Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You get shotgunned enough times, you need a little bit more damage output, so on comes the AUG. The guns, right? Experience on the guns, experience on the person. So I don't actually know how high the guns go level-wise. I think it's 50-something maybe they just continue going, but I do know that when you get past 50, you need a couple of thousand experience, and one of the issues that this game has is that when you do the most damage to somebody and somebody else finishes them off, you get assist points instead of actual kill points. Which means that you're limited to how much experience you can actually get if you don't finish people off. And because this game has a long time to kill, because your guns are projectile, and because the servers are oftentimes unkind, it can be really easy to get assists instead of kills. And it doesn't really matter how good your aim is, it doesn't really matter. There are variables that are working against you. You have an entire team of people shooting the same people you're shooting, The level design, everything can lead to moments where you don't claim the kill that you started. And what ends up happening is, especially with the weapons, we'll start with the weapons at first. The weapons level really quickly at the start. You get a couple of kills, you start knocking out those numbers, and you start getting these entry-level optics and attachments for them, and everything feels good, everything feels streamlined, everything feels fun. And then gradually you hit this curve of diminished returns, where you have to put in way more effort to get way more experience, to get comparable attachments to the ones that you already have. So you're putting in hundreds of kills to get an optic that's no better than the optic you got 50 kills deep. And of course optics are preferences, but you get the idea of what I mean here. The thing that I think really hurts the system on the way the weapons level at the moment is the fact that they all accelerate really quickly into the territory of having to really commit yourself to get these attachments and use the guns a lot. And there's nothing wrong with making your audience use a gun. You create a game so that they want to use the guns. You create the attachments to be the carrot on the stick to entice them into going for those attachments and using that gun. It's just lots of them don't seem to have any real kind of payoff or any kind of incentive. And for me, once you get to about level 24 on a gun, you've pretty much got everything you need on it, except for some of the very highly specific things. And one of the things you notice about a lot of the Bad Business YouTubers, a lot of the people who play the game quite seriously, they're probably buying the things they want instead of having to go without them, because it's just a much smarter way of doing it. So you might get people that, instead of using the iron sights and struggling a little bit, will immediately buy their favourite optic. Or they'll immediately grab maybe lightweight or steady shot or some kind of grip that's quite hard to get because it takes a while, you've got to grind it, and they don't want to because they like how the gun feels with that grip. And you find these setups that you prefer. You'll find the tape that you like, you'll find your optic, you'll find your attachment, And you'll do that on most guns unless the gun doesn't fare so well, and maybe then you'll experiment and come up with something new. But after using and leveling a few guns, you're going to have a system that you go to. And I think that this is one of the reasons why the longevity in the guns might not be as long as it could be, because you get the same attachments for most guns, and they unlock in the same order, it feels like. So you're always going to have to get, to level 24 or 23 for the monolithic suppressor. You're always going to have to get to level 44 for lightweight. You're always going to have to tick these arbitrary boxes, because I feel like a lot of thought wasn't put into the unlock levels of each caliber of weapon. And of course, this attachment add-on to the game is a lot of work, and it's very difficult, and you can't be too harsh at the people implementing it, because there's not that many developers, and they've got lives and they've got other things they should be doing, more important things potentially, you don't even know. But when you implement something like this and you make it the same for everything, it means that all your guns are essentially the same feeling of progression and improvement. So once you get all the attachments on one gun, you've done it on all the guns. And of course you haven't done it on all the guns really, but you have in essence, because there's no surprises, there's no deviation from that formula, and that formula can become rote and uninspired. And I'm hoping that with the new attachments they can really go in there and bring it up a little bit, because one of the things I like to mention when it comes to leveling, and I'll mention this a lot if you watch my channel, but to me, I always feel like the greater carrot on a stick is a lot of small levels that are not that difficult to get over a decent amount of levels that get incrementally more challenging. And the game that did this really well, I thought, was a game called Titanfall 2, where you could level your guns a ludicrous amount of times, and it always took the same amount of experience. It kind of steadily increased to a point, but it was never ridiculous. It was never, that level that takes you 5 games. It was consistently leveling up, so you always felt like you were unlocking something. And there is a double-sided sword to this, because it can feel a bit exhausting, always getting pop-ups, always leveling things up. But I think when it comes to the dopamine drip that gets us coming back and gets that addictive part of the brain, I do think that perhaps more levels easily acquired, not necessarily easy to get, but a little bit lower on the experience gain side, is a better direction for the feel of that progression than it currently is at the moment, where I think on some guns I need 2,000 experience to unlock a sight I'll never use. But that brings us to the normal, conventional leveling of your character. So in Bad Business, the best way to level is to win and to get lots of kills, which is a fantastic thing if you're a person like me who is a filthy kill whore who loves to get lots of kills and loves to win. But the problem is, it doesn't matter how many kills you get, and it doesn't matter how much you win, you never seem to be able to get the amount of experience that you would like, and it never seems to truly reward you for a Herculean effort. And you notice this in King of the Hill, and you notice this in Team Deathmatch, because you can be on the hill the entire time, you can cap the hill solo on your own, you can spend 99% of that game in and around B flag, but if you don't get any kills, you're going to get no experience. And if you lose, you're going to lose out on winning experience. So it doesn't matter that you spent your whole time trying to push B, trying to help your team get it, trying to keep the enemies off it, getting all these objective kills that you would normally get in other games, because Bad Business doesn't reward that, because it doesn't have that system in place. And I would really love to see this change, because as it stands, you are limited to just kill whoring and winning, and that's it. And if you play Kill Confirmed, in Call of Duty, the game where Kill Confirmed came from, when you picked up tags and when you denied tags, you got way more experience. It was one of the best game modes to level up, because you could always guarantee chunks of experience, and you didn't even have to be doing well. You didn't have to be killing a lot of people. As long as you were getting those tags, you would feel like you were improving, you would feel like you were helping, and you would feel like you were progressing. I've played games on this game of Kill Confirmed where I've got like the most tags on the team by far. I've probably got 70 tags and 70 denies, and I've ended it on a loss and barely got any experience. Like, it's really odd. Yet there's times when I'll completely ignore the suitcases, which absolutely need a sound for confirmation, and denial, which is really catchy and well designed because they don't have one and it baffles my mind. But you'll completely ignore the suitcases, you'll get a dozen kills, you'll get a ridiculous amount of kills, and then you'll win, and then I'll get 200 plus experience, which is some of the highest you can get in the game. Like, you'll get like 250 experience or something crazy. But it doesn't feel like it's right, you know? Especially when you're at high level. When you're at like level 55, the last 5 levels, it takes a while. It's like 1,000 experience each, isn't it, to get those levels. Even if you have 100 plus kill games where you win, it's still going to take you, you know, nearly 5 games to level up. And you're at the end of the prestige cycle, so it's meant to take a while, but when you put in a kill, when you put in a performance like the one you've just witnessed, where I lose, because my team's just not interested, you would think you would get a lot more than what you do, and I would love to see them go in there and make objective play better rewarded. Give people a reason to stand on those hills, to die on those hills, because it's dangerous standing near that objective. Give people a reason to pick those suitcases up.